Today's 2-minute message is, are the cardiologists on board / maybe? So I saw an ad this week. Clear Choice was running a national ad. They're the big implant company, the All-in-4. And the patient said, my cardiologist told me that my teeth were affecting my heart health and that I needed to see the dentist. And then he goes to the dentist and have all his teeth taken out and implants placed. Now, we all know that that's only part of the story, but I thought that was an interesting lead-in. The thing that got my most attention this week was a Facebook posting where I saw a dentist put that a patient was referred to him by a cardiologist who had had a heart attack. The cardiologist asked that all teeth with root canals be removed and that all amalgams be removed. And I was like, wow, does that kind of open up a big Pandora's box? And obviously there was a lot of negative commentary associated with that. So much for the integration of medicine and dentistry. That's why this Facebook group exists. That's why this conversation is going forward, so that we can better handle it. That's a very simple conversation. The way I would handle it I would say to the person, you know, I'm very thankful that your cardiologist is aware that there's an oral component to heart disease, and let me break it down for you. Number one, we're going to look, the story is actually inflammation. We're going to look at the bacteria in your mouth, and we're going to identify those bacteria that could potentially be contributing to your coronary problem. Secondly, as far as the root canals are concerned, we are going to get what's called a cone beam, a CBCT scan, and we're going to look in great three-dimensional detail on every one of your root canals. Sometimes root canals have a silent residual infection. If you have underlying heart disease that needs to be addressed, we may potentially recommend retreatment or the extraction of the tooth. But in absence of infection, there's no reason to have your root canal teeth taken out. Thirdly, we are going to talk about sleep apnea. And we're going to do a screening because we're going to explain to the patient that sleep apnea is an inflammatory contributor and is well within the wheelhouse of the dentist to evaluate. As far as amalgam goes, I keep that as a separate conversation. There is no research that shows that amalgam is inflammatory, okay? But it kind of gets lumped into that whole toxicity thing. So I do think amalgam has a part in a conversation neurologically, but I keep it out of the oral systemic conversation, especially in light of the cardiologist request. Okay, that has to be explained. So I thought that's very topical. That the cardiologists, you're going to see more and more of that. One of the things next week is Voices of Dentistry. I'm going to be traveling to Voices of Dentistry next week. Very excited on months and months and months of research, and I'm going to be unveiling something that I know is going to be a game changer from as far as like chairside diagnostics, and it's a Wi-Fi enabled microscope. And so this is an iPad with an app that reads right off of the high definition microscope. I know many of you like to do your treatment presentations with a microscope and the intraoral camera, and now you're just going to be able to swipe over and look at biofilms. This is a big, big thing. I've tested many, many systems over the past 6 months and finally found one that works. And so we're going to be showing this at Voices of Dentistry, and I'm going to be launching a web portal kind of around this in the next week or so. So look forward to seeing you at Voices. I know it's going to be, last year was awesome. If not, I'll be doing some Facebook Live, and then the following week, I'm sure I'm going to have lots and lots of content from Voices. So see you then.